had a very profound experience. And after that experience, I no longer gained weight, I started losing weight. That experience is available to all of us, and that's why I want to share it with you. I didn't start losing weight until I understood that I had to start focusing on what was good in my life. I had to start focusing on my connection and celebrating my life and celebrating my connection instead of doing the kind of personal growth work where I had been trying to find out what's wrong. How can I fix myself? What's the one thing I can change that will change my life? Well, there is one thing I changed to change my life, but I was looking in the wrong place for years and years and years. In March of 2005, I made a formal declaration to the people I was doing spiritual growth work with at the time that I am no longer going to meditate or do processes to find out what's wrong with me. I'm no longer going to dig around to see what I can heal or fix that will make my life better. I decided I was only going to meditate about my celebration to my connection to God and to life and to feeling that inner light inside. And so that was the focus of my meditations from that point on. Then 6 months later, in September of 2005, I had this meditative experience that changed my life. Now, I had been doing personal growth for many, many, many years before that. So there has been a lot of preparation internally in my own mind and body to arrive at this pinnacle moment. And I've had several pinnacle moments since that have taken me down to had me lose weight more. But I'm going to tell you about this one because this is the linchpin that's turned it all around for me. I was staffing a seminar in the Bay Area. It was a very long seminar, very long hours, very intense. I was freaking out inside because there was no escape from my own internal angst and tension and frustration. There were long periods of silence in this seminar, long periods of work and focus, and I had no TV, none of my normal distractions. I was outside of my normal cycle of life. So throughout this whole event, I'm trying to find whatever I can do to distract me. I'm eating these raisins and almonds they had out. I'm looking at people, thinking thoughts about people, going to the bathroom over and over again, spending way too much time in the bathroom, reading a little pamphlet over and over again. You know, the things we do to kind of just keep our mind from really seeing what we want to see and really experiencing what's happening in the moment. What was happening in the moment was I was in so much resistance, I couldn't even stand to be in my own skin. And so I was finding a way to get out of it. About 3/4 of the way through this 6-day seminar, we had a meditation. And this is the kind of meditation where we play music and we feel our feelings and we move our bodies to try to get out what's repressed, get out what's inside. Well, I was totally ready for this meditation because I had it. I was at the end of my rope with this feeling of trapped and frustrated and needed a way out. So I went into meditation, and frankly, I was begging God to help me with my resistance. I was so in my resistance, I had no choice but to beg. I was on my hands and knees, I was crying, and I was just asking God to come help me with all the sincerity and every fiber of my being. My focus was totally dedicated to that request and that desire. And much to my benediction, and I'm so grateful, God answered my prayer. Now, when I say God answered my prayer, I don't mean that He came down and He did something to me. I want to make this very clear that I was in meditation and I was focused. And I started using my own imagination to bring myself to God. I wanted to be with God so bad that nothing would stop me. And so when I found myself in the presence of God, I could tell it was a co-creative effort between God and myself. I was using my imagination. I was using my very deepest desire that I had access to, and he answered with an equal amount of desire and an equal amount of focus on me. So I find myself on my knees in front of God's presence, and behind God are thousands and thousands of other beings. They're all in assistance. It touches my heart right now to think about it. It's a little hard to talk about. But as I put myself back there, it was a very real experience. And I saw thousands of beings with God. Here I am on my hands and knees, begging God to take some of my resistance. And without any words or without any kind of verbal communication, God said to me, "Of course I will." And he reached down and he picked up out of my body a 4-foot by 2-foot concrete block that just raised out of my body. And I could feel my whole body start to shiver and readjust and shake. And he effortlessly just picked this block up and handed it to the light being that was off to his left. And that light being took this enormous concrete block and passed it to the light being behind him, or her, or it, whatever you say, right? The next light being took it, and it got passed and passed and passed all the way down into the very distant. And when this concrete block came out of me, I just fell to my knees once again. I could feel something happening, something real. And my whole body just felt this shifting and adjusting, and every cell of my body was shimmering with life. And again, was it God doing it? Was it my imagination? Was it my desire, or was it his? And I want to tell you that now I know it was both. Both were active and fully present. And when this concrete block made its way all the way back into the middle of the crowd of all these light beings, one of the light beings took it and threw it up into the air.